So I'm excited to have you here. I've said that 4 times, so it must be real. Anastasia, and I'm going to say her last name because I've been practicing Vladychynska, but you can call her Anastasia V. And she's literally world renowned for creating fantastic customer and client experiences. She thinks of things that you're like, oh, why didn't I think of this? Oh my goodness, it's so simple. This is so wonderful. I met her through Stacy Lauren. Of course, that's where all the cool people come from. So, not all of them. Actually, Alex, I didn't meet you there, so we have to have that. So, Anastasia, the ladies who are on here all have products that they are selling. Several of them are going to be featured in the product discovery club thing that I'll be doing with Stacy. Um, One of the big issues that product sellers have is being able to reach those first 100 reviews. There's something almost magical that happens once they've hit that 100 review mark. And it's, things really hit into momentum at that point. It's easier because you've got that social proof going. And of course, along the way, it is possible that you're going to get some negative reviews. Probably, knowing what all of you are doing, I can't imagine that happening, but it's possible. Sometimes it's just a troll, sometimes it's a legit thing. Anastasia is here today to help us understand, what do you do when you get a bad review? Oh, I rhymed. That's pretty cool. So, Anastasia, if you would introduce yourself a little bit more and just tell the ladies what like, it's incredible, your background, what you're doing, all of this. If you could start with that and we'll move from there.
Yeah, beautiful. And I do have to apologize, guys, if you hear any noise over here, okay? Because I'm jumping between meetings. So yeah, thank you. This is cool because that's one of the parts that I teach and I'm so passionate about. So many things I wanted to tell you today about bad reviews, and like Sue said, it could be a troll, it could not be a troll. And now what our attitude should be towards that and da 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 da. Da. My background was 10 years ago. And I'm not 26, I'm 41. Some people think for some reason I'm 41 and I'm not afraid to say it. So 10 years ago, which is legit, I, I started my own consultancy and I've had it well, yeah, 10 years. Uh, and why I started it, I used to work in corporate airlines and tourism are my background. I was always responsible for corporate sales. And for some reason, we had in my department, because I was head of that department, we had incredible retention rates, which was like 80 to 90%. When you sell business to business, that's sick. And everybody was asking, how are you guys doing it? And I didn't know how I was doing it. Do you ever have the same? Like you do something, people ask you, and you're like, I have no idea, right? So I thought everybody else was doing the same. and then entrepreneurs started asking me, and small businesses first started, could you come and teach us? I didn't feel like I could. That's another thing. Like, I don't know, those of you who are over here, do you believe that like we first have to learn and then we're able to teach, like, and like learn deep, become a professional? And it's true that not everybody believes in it, but I believe like we have to become a professional before we teach. That's my inner belief. You don't have to believe in it. So then I went to every possible program out there. So I did leadership training at Ritz-Carlton. I did everything at the Disney Institute. I did a year program in the States, and I'm a US certified client experience consultant. There's a whole academy for people like me over there. So, and then during 10 years, helping companies like Max Mara, Kenzo, Hugo Boss, Premium Clinics. At some point, it was a logistics company that had 60,000 people in it. Okay. So and then small businesses started asking me, entrepreneurs started asking, can you do the same, but we don't need 12 months program? I said, of course, yes. So now I do only twice per year. I actually do those open courses online where I teach entrepreneurs what I've learned from all the time. And reviews, I also think, okay, guys, like you're so lucky today because I teach that at the business school. So MBA students pay like 30K to hear this. Like It just came to me for real.
That's a pretty good deal.
It is cool. So, okay, so can I ask the people here, could you please tell me which products you have? Like quickly, nicely, and shortly, so that when I give you examples, I give you examples from my experience. Is that cool? Okay.
Absolutely. Who would like to go first?
Or second.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Anastasia. I'm from Canada. My first and foremost product is a novel that I wrote that I intended to use basically as a business card to give me that validation. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Sue. But I'm also working on, I have an online greeting card shop right now too. So I'm hoping I can kind of learn on one and use that on the other.
Okay, thank you.
I have Sugies. It's a physical product, all natural sugar craving reducing supplement. Just getting started. I think I have 5 sales and no Amazon reviews at this point.
Okay, Jenna. Okay, but you are on Amazon. You are selling it on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
You can go, Sue.
Okay, so I have my brand is called My Unmess, and my first product is a energy and mental boost. So sorry, nootropic energy and mental boost supplement, and it will be order, so it should be ready to go live in a couple months.
Okay. Thank you, Sue.
Great. I think that's everybody.
Okay, good. Because I don't see everybody, so you tell me, Sue.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, that's
on
everybody.
one chart. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so here's one thing. For those of you who don't have reviews yet, okay, it's just a question. Have you asked for reviews or you haven't? Okay, so the question is this. Have you asked for reviews and you have not received them? Or maybe you haven't asked for reviews at all? Can you just please share?
I am.
Hi, Jenna. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm always begging for reviews.
You are.
Hard. It's hard. I think I have like 6 online and probably another 20 on the website from people who couldn't be bothered going back to Amazon, and so I'm pretty much quoting them on the website. But yeah, they're all good though. I mean,
Yeah.
but there's
Is
like
that for your novel, Alex, or for
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay, thank you. So you're begging, but they're not writing it. They would give it to you, but they would not write it on Amazon. Gotcha. Can you also please tell me when you're asking them for the review? Like, what is that? Because, yeah, there is something called client experience, right? So they buy the book, then there is some time while they read the book, and then Like, so when would you ask them? When do you usually ask them for the review?
I'm typically asking them before they've even bought the book. Basically, like, even if I'm selling books at like a trade show or whatever you call them, there's a bookmark in there that says, good, bad, or otherwise, please leave me a review, or email me, talk to me. I just want to, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's usually before they've even read the book.
Okay.
The only time it's after is if they're actually already talking to me and leaving a review.
Okay, good. And do you usually know who bought your novel? Like, do you know these? Do you have those accounts? Can you talk to them, or
Most of the reviews, I know who they are.
you know who they are? Okay, gotcha.
Most,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now you guys listen in because this is important. There is a chronology of clients working with us, okay? There's always a beautiful chronology, and I call it actually choreography, okay? That's the choreography of client experience with us. The closest metaphor or example that I could give to you is this. When you go to the restaurant, Alex, do they ask you for the review when you are just coming? You just come to see the hostess.
Yeah, no.
And she says, hello, would you give us a review? Right, that's funny. So,
No, yeah.
yeah. So with asking for reviews, that's perfectly nice, but please place it beautifully in the choreography of your client experience. Okay. So if you have a supplement, you don't ask for reviews straight away, right? People use the supplement. So they buy the supplement. You tell them, hey, thank you for buying the supplement. If it's not on Amazon, if it's on somewhere else, but if it's on Amazon, I'm not sure you could do those personalized messages. So you have to tell me about this. So first they buy the product, a novel, a book, a supplement, does not matter. Then there is their experience while they're eating the product. Okay. Eating could be metaphoric, reading a book or using a course for that reason, using a course, learning from you. That's a digital course. And then they are using the supplement. And when they are doing this, there is some time frame to that, right? So let's just say usually people buy a book and they read it by, I don't know, by the first month, third month, whatever, right? So usually you want to ask for the review either in between they're eating the product or by the end of, that's the hypothesis. Okay, so your hypothesis would be, okay, so by the 6 months they should have read the book. Okay, and so usually you want to ask for reviews after they have eaten your product. Okay, now you guys have to tell me, and that's probably question to Sue. I'm sure you can automate it, right, on Amazon, so that you can send them emails after they actually read the book.
I'm not actually sure. I'm not an Amazon
Okay.
seller, so I don't remember.
Yeah, we need to check that. We
Yeah,
need to
I know
check that.
you don't have access to the buyer list.
You
No,
don't.
but you do have, you can get a an app, or if that's not the right term, but I think it's Rev Seller,
Mm,
and that automatically sends a request. Or you go to the individual order and there's a request review button.
request review. Okay, great.
Yeah, but you can only request one time.
And
One
that's
person.
okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we
Gotcha.
want to make sure we are asking them at the right moment. Okay. I think the example that I have just given you with the restaurant, when do they ask you? They ask you in between your meals, right? So you're actually sitting and eating a salad. They come up to you and they will tell you, excuse me, how is your salad, right? How are you guys doing? So that's in the middle of your experience. And then by the end of your experience, when you're done, when you're leaving a restaurant, a hostess is asking, a maître d' is asking you, how was your experience, right? So please, if you can impact that, please impact that. Because asking for a review before they have used the product could be the reason. Okay, it's one of the 100 reasons, but I would say 60% of the reason why they're not giving you the reviews could be in there. Okay, in the right timing. Okay.
That makes sense.
Nice. Now, do you want me to move to a bad review straight away, or did you have questions about this so far?
You guys have any questions?
No, but it just makes an awful lot of sense.
That's good, baby. See, like Sue said, it's not your okay, let me tell you this. It's not your business to think about those things. Okay, you do your product, and then you have people who have like 10 years of experience in all those things. So when you have a blind spot, I also have blind spot in my I don't know, finances maybe. So if someone comes from financial expert, they would find my blind spot. So that's totally fine. Okay, that's totally fine. I see the things that you don't see. That's fine. That's how it works. Okay. So now what if you have great reviews? Congratulations. If you have, now please listen up closely to this, because this is also unconventional. If you have great reviews, awesome. If you only have great reviews and you don't have a one bad review, that is good or bad? Bad. They don't trust you.
Bad. Yep.
They don't trust you. Do you, like, if you look, I don't know, if you want to go to a restaurant, again, I'm going to give you a restaurant example just because everybody has that experience, okay? That's why I could give you examples from furniture manufacturer. Like, it doesn't matter. So this one resonates because we all have that experience. If you're looking at Google reviews, let's just say the restaurant has many reviews, more than 100 reviews, and all of them are 5-star. I don't know about you, I'm suspicious. And that's the classics of reviewing. I'm not telling you, please go ahead and ask someone for a bad review. No, I want to be
It'll
very
happen.
authentic. I need bad reviews. It's not about that. But if you have a bad review, say to yourself, that is fine. I'm even better because people will trust me now. Okay? People don't trust the products and services which are always 5-star. Even when you stay right now in a 5-star, the best hotel in Florence, do you think it's got bad reviews? Yes, some of them are bad reviews. Now let's go deeper. Why are there the bad reviews? 5-star hotel, the best in Florence. Florence in itself, you should be grateful you are here. Sorry, let me get the guys come. I'm so sorry, I forgot my headphones. That's why all this. I feel so bad for you
Don't feel
guys.
bad.
So if you think about this, so yeah, it's 5-star. These guys are investing millions into their service. So why in the world would someone be not happy with that? Any guesses? Just drop them on me. Like, why would it's 5-star?
It
The
could be a
best star.
personality conflict, even.
Exactly. That's one thing. What else?
Personal preferences on stuff. Like I like blue, I don't like orange.
Exactly. Third thing, like, yeah, what else? What else, guys?
That
Expectations.
person could have just gone through a divorce and they're taking it out on this place.
It is not, that's the thing. It is not always you, okay? Coaches come to me and they say, Anastasia, I'm crying because I have delivered and over delivered and I've done this and this. I'm giving you the analogy with coaches. I'm doing it on purpose because when you have a product, you should sell a product, right? When you're a coach, you deliver and over deliver. You do another session and another session, and they would tell me, I did everything I could. I did even more, and this person still doesn't like it, and is asking me for a refund. Please remember, it is not. There are so many reasons why they could be unhappy, and yes, it could be that the product did not work for them. Okay, it just didn't work for them. Like they thought that they would miraculously, when they buy your supplement, they thought that in a month they're going to become taller, more beautiful, thinner, and they will find a husband. That was their expectation. And you could say, well, but I never ever stated you will find a husband after my supplement, right? So you're thinking on the back of your mind, but I never I always manage the expectations right. So you are naturally looking for a reason where in yourself or in your product, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you get a bad review, think of it this way. Okay, it did not meet the expectations of that person. It does not mean you have to disregard it, okay? Because sometimes when we have those feedbacks, aren't we thinking, okay, so maybe if they say the cream is too thick, then maybe I should work on a formula, right? So if you have, 50% of your clients telling you the cream is too thick, 50%, listen to me, that's very important. 50%, then you want to tell them, thank you so very much, I'm going to work on the formula. Now, if it's just 1% of clients, then it does not mean the product is wrong. You have to redo the whole thing. It means that it just didn't fit this person, right? So now let's go to the actual art of answering to those reviews. What I teach at business school, I always tell them that the first rule, and I teach businesses like huge businesses, the first rule when you have a bad review is this: switch off the internet for the owner of the business. Because it's our baby, right? If you're the owner of the business, it's the baby, and someone is telling you the baby is ugly. What are you going to say?
You're so right.
What are you naturally going to say? Especially, and guess this, listen to this, especially if you know the back end story. Like, you know that this woman already wasn't happy in the beginning, then she did this with the supplement, then she wasn't using it right, then da, 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 da. You know the back end of the story, right? So automatically you will go into the mode, oh, I need to protect the baby. So here comes the bad review. They tell you your baby is ugly, and you're telling them, what do you mean? Did you use the baby properly? I'm talking about supplements. Did you really read the novel, or you just opened it? Because here I have like 1,000 of clients who actually liked my novel and it has helped them and saved their lives. And you're like telling me da 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 da. So we are naturally jumping into the let's defend the baby mode. Okay. Which becomes super emotional. And guys, ladies, this happens everywhere. I come and consult 5-star hotels and I look at how they answer to bad reviews. And you see, I have some gray hair over here. That's because of them. Because it's natural. Okay. So one way not to answer the reviews, the bad reviews. One way, please never use the same template. Okay. Have you seen those? When someone says, the cream is bad, and then the answer is automatically the same. Thank you for telling us the cream is bad, but the cream is not really bad. You did not use it right. That's basically the answer to the review. So please don't make them automated. If you have them automated, like for example, now you need 100. What if your product, and I hope this for you wholeheartedly, that you will have millions of sales, millions of clients. At that point, you will not be able to do personalized personalized answers to reviews, okay? So at that point, you will have to work with automation the way that it still looks different. For right now, if you don't have so many clients and if you don't have many bad reviews, and I hope you don't, then just make it super personalized. So say, if you have the name, say, hi, Sue, thank you so much for your review. And you're not just saying it, you mean it, okay? Because think of it this way. If a person hates you, like let's just say your Facebook friend has started hating you, they will just delete you from Facebook. They will block you. That's it. They will not tell you, Sue, you know what? Because if Sue and I are good friends, then I will tell Sue, you know what? I kind of didn't like the product you have sold to me, right? Can we talk about it? So this is the same thing, right? If your clients are telling you, if they go into the pain of writing a review, then they're actually giving you and I the chance, right? Because if they didn't want us to change, they wouldn't have written. Trolls aside, okay, trolls aside. Okay. So you have the review, but usually trolls don't come to people who have 100 reviews, right? They would come to, but again, it doesn't matter. For right now, it doesn't matter. So, hi, Sue, thank you so much for writing the review. And you mean it because she's giving you some information. Now, please never say, did you apply the product the way I told you to? Did you read the instructions? Did you read the novel from cover to cover? So we are not blaming a client. No, we're just telling them, you know what, you're actually right. That cream, the formula of that cream is thick on purpose because I have developed it especially for winter times. And because I live in Norway, I'm just making this up. You don't have to make up things. It should be true about yourself, but I'm just making things up right now for an example, right? Because I live in Norway, women in Norway tend to have dry skin. So this product is mostly for okay. Now, this is not the end of the sentence, guys, because explaining to a client, okay, so okay, let me give you this example. Let's just say you went to a restaurant again and you did not like the salad. So they're asking you, did you like the salad? And you tell them, well, frankly, no. Usually they say, no, not usually, sometimes, thanks God, that industry is changing now. Depends on the country, of course, but okay. So usually they say, oh, I'm so sorry. Would you like me to change it? Like, would you like me to change the salad to something else? I'm going to take it out of your check, right? Now, bad restaurants will tell you this. Oh, okay, please wait 1 minute. Then they leave. And the administrator of the hotel, the manager, comes and tells you, so what exactly you didn't like in that salad? because it has been developed by our chef, which is like international star chef. So we don't want it, right? So we want when there is a bad review, please become a superwoman answering a bad review. How does a superwoman answer? She says this: I'm so sorry, this product, this novel did not meet your needs. You didn't like it. It has upset you. Da da da. This da 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 da. Da. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm pausing because I don't know if you can do it on Amazon, but I would love to send you another product or another book or another to compensate for your bad emotions. Now, can you tell me frankly, would you be open to writing this publicly? Let's just say you have a Google review, which is super public. Would you be open to write this? We want to fix this. So please give us, I'm going to write you. Please give us a chance to send us another product or another book or refund you. Would you be open to doing this? Or what kind of flaws do you have when I'm telling you this? But please be frank.
I would be worried that everybody would jump on the bandwagon and want
Boom,
more.
boom. Alex, thank you. Everybody tells me the same. Okay. Like all the owners tell me, I'm just worried that people will use it. They will do it on purpose and they will use it.
Mm.
And I'm not trying to tell you that there are no people who will not use it, but from my experience, and I'm talking out of 10 years working different industries, different countries, everything from retail to blah, blah, to banks, statistically, there are no more than 2% of people who will do this, who will use you, okay? That's statistically. Now, 2 is already a lot. It's usually 1%. So now look at this. You write it as a superwoman. You say, you know what? I am confident in my product. And if this is something that did not meet your needs, I'm okay with refunding you. I'm okay with sending you another product just because I know what I'm doing. And if someone comes who uses it, like who uses you and who uses all this, I don't know about you, but I usually give it to them gracefully. But what happens next? They tell their friends, I did this and haha, she's such an idiot. She would give it to me for free. But you know what happens? She becomes my free advertisement because her friends usually don't do it. So they listen to her friend, to the friend they love, but they then buy and buy nicely. Okay. So don't be afraid to do this. I call this in business, I call this business paranoia. Okay. Don't be afraid to do this if you're confident in your product. Now, okay, I'll have to share this. In the 10 years of my consulting career, and our projects start with 70K. Okay. The smallest project will be 70K for a corporate client. On our every invoice, we say, every invoice has it. We say, if you're not happy with the services we have provided, we are going to refund you. We have been doing it faithfully from day one because I've always believed in this. Now, can you guess how many clients we have really refunded in 10 years?
Not too many.
Not too many. That's good. Alex, anyone else?
I'm going to say none because
One.
I think we're
Okay.
headed there.
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody else?
So, yeah. No?
Nope.
Okay. So in 10 years, there were 2 clients to which I suggested a refund personally. I said, you know what, we're doing this, we're over delivering, but it's just not working for your business. So I want to stop the project and I want to pay you back, to refund you all the money. 2 clients in 10 years, to which they answered, Anastasia, please do not refund us. We know it's on our side. Now let's flip it. Because many times we do it. We would say, oh, you're not happy? Because you feel when they're not happy, okay? Especially in coaching business. You're not happy? Well, I'm sorry, I have a no refund policy because I have invested my time with you. How does that work, guys? See, so let me try to summarize it. Bad review is not bad, okay? Bad review is not bad. Number 2, when you're answering a bad review, please stop protecting the baby. if you have done Impro, use that. If you have ever heard of Impro, it always has the rule of yes and. So yeah, so their reality is now my reality. If they say the product is trash, that's my reality for now. My reality is this: the product for Sue, my product was trash. That's my reality. Don't try to fight their reality. Why that reality has been created for Sue, I don't know. And please, guys, never judge. Like never. It could be Sue is not happy today. It could be Sue had previous bad experiences, right? And now Sue, because she had previous bad experiences, she thinks I'm the same, right? So how can I do this better? And then by the end of the review, just tell them what are you going to do with it. Just, I'm going to refund, I'm going to send you, I'm going to do what? Because people don't want just the answer. If you remember my restaurant example, people don't want just the answer or just, oh yeah, it was a bad soup. So what? they want a solution. So what kind of solution are you going to have to have? Now, also the last thing that I would mention, please remember, and that thing always triggers us, especially if you know, again, the background of all of it or the back end. You have already had several conversations with you and she already told you she was not happy, blah, 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 blah. When people write reviews, you know that story. Your prospective clients do not know that story, right? Now, just guess, statistically, who are they going to believe? A product company or they're a friend or a client who wrote a review? Unfortunately, not us, not the product company. They will believe the person. They will take their popcorn. They'll be like, oh, that sounds cool. Let me see what happens. Let me see how she answers. Okay.
Yeah.
That becomes a sport business now. So when I'm trying to convey that the thought that when you're answering anything publicly, it could be Facebook comment, it could be Google review, it could be Amazon review, does not matter. If you're answering publicly, always think not about the person who wrote it, but about everybody else who will read your response. So many times, I have to tell you, so many times I had to kick out businesses out of awful reputational crisis just because one client did a video or a post, it has become viral, and then the company would answer badly. Okay.
Right.
So we had to don't even ask me what we had to do we had to film the CEO. The CEO would be saying, I'm so sorry for my employees who did this, we are, and now we have to, and now, you're going to have a free annual membership and three bottles of wine and your kids are here for free and everything. just because it's that bad already. So catch it when you can catch it. But yeah, and okay, one more advice. When you're writing back, show your reply to someone else. Show it to Sue, show it to your friend. Alex can text, I don't know, you can text Sue and Sue can text Alex saying, okay, so this is the review and this is my response. Can you look at it, please? Because Sue does not have emotions in this. It is not her baby, it's your baby. So she will look at it from the perspective of, okay, this sounds cool because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful answer, does not have any emotions. You're not protecting the baby. We're good. Okay. Even I have to tell you that sometimes people write me stuff that I have to ask other people to prove my reply, even though I've been in this for 10 years. Can you imagine? Because sometimes when emotions are included into this, okay.
It can get spicy.
Yes. So far, guys, I think these are the most important things for you to know at this moment. Jay Baer, Jbaer, has written a wonderful book, which is called Hug Your Haters. And if you want to go deeper into how do you deal with all the bad reviews whenever you have them, he would be the person to go to if you want to go deep. If you don't want to go deep, I don't know, we can join you and I in my Keep Your Clients group, but that's the only free thing that I have. But
That's
yeah.
fantastic. So good. Oh my goodness. A lot of these, like, it makes so much, I mean, all of them, it makes so much sense. A lot of them are kind of surprising. Like you wouldn't, but they totally make sense. It's like if you hadn't planned ahead, if you didn't have this knowledge and this wisdom first, it would be very easy to start protecting your baby and going, yeah, but I know that you didn't do it there. Like fighting
Exactly.
back, and then you end up with this like you said, like I'm just here for the comments, that type of thing. I'm getting the popcorn. I'm going to watch this play out. So
Yeah.
and we don't want that.
Yeah,
And
right.
I've seen this also, guys, when you have social media reels, anything that you're, publishing on social media, sometimes you're going to have people who are just like I posted about the chicken house that we're making. You wouldn't believe how many chicken house building experts are out on the internet. It's incredible. Ours are going to get mites, they're going to be wet, there's going to be snakes coming in, all this. And at first I was like, and I didn't reply like that. So thank goodness. And I hadn't had this training. But now I know like I could have been even better with it. But I was like, hey, you might be right. Thanks for sharing. But inside, I'm like, you're an idiot. But
Yes, it's hard.
you know,
Also, there is a difference to you between your personal page and your company page. Okay. So on your personal page, if you receive hatred, if you receive bad things, I always say, if it's your personal page, you have total the right to block those people and to never think of them again. Okay.
yes,
If this is your business page, unfortunately, you cannot. I mean, okay, if this is something completely off the roof, then of course you block them and you don't even. But if it's in between, then unfortunately on the business page, you cannot erase comments. I mean, you could, but it's better not to do it because internet remembers everything. So if you erase a bad comment, you might then have a whole post about how you have erased a bad comment about that treatment that has given them the worst rush of their life, for example, and then it becomes even worse. So another thing about this, a little asterisk. Boom, that was a beautiful moment. It must be important. So a little asterisk. If the review is about physical influence, like I just said, I have been using your product and I have an awful rush, I'm dying, I was poisoned by your product, all of it, then it does not mean that in the answer you have to say, yes, of course, this is my product. And yeah, I totally agree. So sorry, it has made you sick. No, you say, listen, you don't say listen, but you say, I'm so sorry this has happened to you because this isn't right. This is not good. This is not the level of my product. I work day and night, or my company works day and night on making sure it does not influence any allergies. It does not provoke any Our formula is However, if you think the sickness might have been caused by the product, please write to us or let me write you because I want to make sure I fix it with you. Okay. So even if it's not your fault, there's a beautiful saying with our clients. Even if it's not our fault, it's still our problem. Okay. Because it's not our client.
that's beautiful. And Jana has her hand up. Jana, what would you like to?
I didn't mention that I also sell on my own website, sugar.com, and I've had 4 people buy there. Now, I have their emails, inside of Shopify. So I use the Shopify to contact them to ask for a review, and ask them to review Amazon, which you can do. You gave them the link to the product on Amazon, asking for a review. And I was a little surprised that no one has done it. So I'm thinking maybe it didn't deliver to them or something. So now I'm going to do a direct message, on like Facebook Messenger or something, because I know them all, as work friends, internet friends. What should I say in that request?
That's such a wonderful question.
Thank
Okay. So things like, hey, are you using the product? Yes. Do you like it? Yes. Could you please write me a review? Will probably not give you the results. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we live now in the world where people get paid to do reviews. When I say get paid, I don't mean money, but if you go, like, to say, if you, any business that you could work with, they would usually give you something for writing a review. Okay, so Starbucks says, give us a review. Someone says, give us a review and get something like $1 off your next order, 10% out of your next order. So unfortunately, people are used to now being paid to do the reviews. Okay, so if you can give something to them, please leave your honest review, and I'll talk to you about the the best way to ask them for the review. But if you can tell them, if you leave the review over there, you are going to receive this and this, then this is going to be better than just leaving them and asking them for the review. That's one point. Another point is this. I would say something like, okay, Helen, are you using this product? What do you think of it? And she'd be like, oh, I love, my eyes are open. I have found a husband. I'm thinner, taller, blah, 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 blah. You'll be, oh, great, hooray, I'm so happy for you. Now, I would say, you know what? Thank you. This is already a wonderful review. Unfortunately, I cannot post it on Amazon because not everybody knows that you actually can't like copy paste it and post it on Amazon. In their head, they have already given you a review. So why would they do it once again? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm. So what you could do, you could say, you know what? Unfortunately, I cannot copy paste it to Amazon, and an Amazon review would hugely help my business. Could you please go to this link? It only is like 1-2 minutes, and just copy paste what you have just written me into there.
Mhm.
Okay,
Makes
so I
sense.
think an explanation to them why you need it, and also people don't want extra work, right? They don't want to say, oh my gosh, and now I need extra work. I need to do it. So you can just say, no extra work needed, just copy paste this and put it into Amazon. Unfortunately, by Amazon's rules, I cannot do it. I would love to do that for you to not give you any tasks, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the flow. Works. Mhm. Thank you.
Oh, you're muted, Anastasia.
Yeah. So, and let me know how it goes. It should be better now. But if no, then guys, unfortunately, the only solution is to give them something for reviews because people nowadays, they
Mhm.
yeah, they value their time a lot.
Yes.
So
Okay, thank you.
Along those lines too, I've noticed, sometimes very big companies will
yeah.
send you to the review page and it'll say something like, this will take 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, no way. And then I'm like, well, are you going to do something? But when it's especially if it's somebody that you kind of know online, like a person, they've got their thing. I am always willing. I would take 15 minutes for free, like no problem. When it's a big company, there's a different perception there. Like, why do you want 15 minutes of
Exactly.
my time?
Exactly, because you don't have. But even with small companies, 15 minutes, guys,
That's too
no.
much. Yeah.
No. It has to be,
Yes.
think of it Uber style, okay? So you take a cab, you take Uber, you get off Uber, you pay, and then they only ask you what out of 5 stars. So it's basically you just tick, okay? That's why they get reviews. The more complicated you make it for them, the less you will have them.
Yes, definitely. And then on Amazon too. So you can do, you can always, as a reviewer, you can always put a picture. That's always great. A verified purchase. So you bought it through Amazon. Now you're reviewing it on Amazon. Those have way more power. When we have our product discovery club, I will be the bad guy. I will say, like, guys, those help even more. Like any review is very helpful, but if you can also do this. So that's, I don't know how can a seller, if they don't have me, kind of training people on how to leave a great review, is there a way that you can recommend, or should we just be happy with, hey, they left a review, that's wonderful? Is there any way we can encourage them to include a photo or something like that?
Huh. Yeah, I think the explanation of why you're asking them to do that would help. So as um, probably I would use the same wording as was Amazon reviews really would help my business because blah, 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 blah. Then if you could include a picture of it, that even, I don't know what it does. It pulls it up, it makes it better. So that will be even, yeah. So just an explanation of why, because many people don't even know.
Mhm. Excellent. Great. Another thing, Anastasia, a lot of people who teach how to sell on Amazon, they will encourage sellers to include like a little postcard, a QR code, that type of thing. Could be, hey, come back, like, hey, I've got an ebook that's for free that will, make using the baby even better, and like that type of thing to get them onto their email list, but also to request, and perhaps incentivize a review, any sort of review. You can't incentivize positive reviews only.
Yeah.
Have you seen something like that work well? Has there been anything that
Yeah.
you've seen work better?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm going to give a short answer to this because we are now talking about the whole cycle of client experience. So they're ordering from your website or from Amazon. What happens next? There is a pre-delivery stage, right? Which via Amazon does it for you. Via your website, you have to think, okay, so am I sending them text messages or something or emails which tells them when the product is going to arrive? And these should always reflect your personality. So I'm gonna use against you your example. You're smiling and tender and all of it. So instead of just telling them your package is on its way, I would say, I don't know, I would say your package is tenderly, I don't know, your product is tenderly being packed right now. So do you understand? Like I would use they call it tone of voice, but it's not really tone of voice, it's your personality in every single, okay? So then it's delivered, and the next stage of their client experience is opening the box, right? So they open the box. What do they see? I'm not trying to tell you have to package it beautifully and luxuriously if your product is not like that, if you don't have the margin for this. But packaging is a big deal, still is a big deal. And but you can, if you don't have the money for that, I suggest always including something into it. Okay. So usually when you get a box and it's just a product, you're like, whatever. I feel like a number. If you have a card that says, and I know that some people, if your sales are person to person, high end sales, you can even do a handwritten beautiful card. Now, if you have too many clients, you won't be able to do that. So you can have two types of cards. One card would be thank you for your first order. Here how it works. Here's what to know. Da, da, da. And then you can just have other cards, which would say thank you for ordering again. So you basically have two types of cards. You don't have
Wonderful.
to write them anymore, but it still tells them that, they know me. I've already ordered. So I always encourage to add something into the box. Adding a coupon, adding another product to test. That's always beautiful. Just because it gives some more, so the person feels like the perceived value is higher. Okay, it's not that I just received the product itself. Now I was gonna say something. And also be ready when you have a negative review and you need to retain a client. Also be ready, what are you going to give them? Like, is it just a refund? Is it a refund and a bottle of champagne? I'm kidding, I'm just making things up. Is it no, see, a coupon for the unsatisfied client, a coupon for the next time, a discount does not work because Alex is already unhappy with what am I selling? I'm going to be selling pillows. Okay. So Alex is already unhappy. So she's telling me I don't like the pillow. And I tell her, I'm so sorry you don't like it. Here's the 15% for the next one. And
Yeah, it
people
doesn't
do
make
it.
sense. It's true, and it does not make sense.
The 15% for the next time would be, I actually love this pillow. I just think that here, like the parrot's nose is a bit like slightly off. Okay, Anastasia, can you live with that slightly off nose or you can't? I can, it's fine. Okay, thank you so much, very much for your patience. Here's the 15% or 10% or 5% for the next time. I hate discounts, guys, but the only time that I think we should give them to clients is when they're not satisfied because they did not receive the 100% that we had promised. And if it's not 100%, then it makes sense to give them discount.
I'm actually very excited. So we have started selling baby trees here from Idlewild Woods, and it's on Etsy. And somebody ordered about $400 worth of baby trees over the weekend, and I was like, "What?" So I saw this. I immediately replied, "Thank you so much. I'm excited. We'll be digging them and packaging them, sending them on Monday." So we've done that, and that was a lot of trees. So they're and then we're packaging them up, and I write a handwritten note just in Sharpie on paper. It's nothing, I wish I could do like a gorgeous card, whatever. It's just a handwritten note on that. We have a little sticker. We package it really well. It'll go off. I'll send them the tracking info. And so far, this has been really great. I mean, we've never had an order that big, but no matter what it is. Oh, and we also send a few extra. He ordered 18. We sent 24, 23, something like this. Because it was like, that's easy, just in case one of them doesn't make it, I'm like, so it was, I'm really excited. Like this act, at first I was thinking, well, I don't really have anything. I do have something. Like,
You
this is great.
do. Yeah. And handwritten cards are the new luxury. If you go and stay at five-star luxury hotels, there's always a handwritten card. It's never printed. Never.
Nice.
Okay. So it is, yeah, even if it's Sharpie, it's like it's because it's personalized. I was gonna say something else about your trees. Okay, so I have a friend entrepreneur, and with her, she sells dresses for little girls, adorable dresses. So what we have made up with her when because she sells through via Instagram, so she usually see who buys from her, and she sees their pictures. So she actually finds a picture of mom with her daughter, and then she prints it out, and she sends the dress with that picture. If you think about this, this is like it's nothing. You just print it out, like you print it out.
Hmm.
But women are crazy about this. They take pictures of the box, they post it online, and they tag the company. And all marketeers of the world want free marketing, and that is free marketing, right? So, yeah, that's beautiful.
Wonderful. Fantastic. This has been so helpful. I don't know. Do y'all want to just share any feedback, any takeaways, anything that you've been blessed to hear today?
Can I just throw out a quick question? Going back to don't protect the baby. I tend to have that very emotional reaction when my first ever book review was scathing. It was two stars. It was a different book, but it was awful. And I read that one time and that was it. I'm never writing again. It was that bad. And I got really angry with myself. I thought, you know what, it's one review, like the only review. It's not like one of 100. It was one review. And I really beat myself up over my emotional reaction, but it did take a few days. I went back and I read it a few more times and started to calm down, work through the emotion of it. And then really started to really look at, and one of the biggest things, it was a romance novel, and that her biggest thing was, there's no way that's real, nobody has sex like that. And I went, oh, when I went back and read it a few more times, I'm like, oh, that poor woman, if she thinks that. Once the emotion was gone and I could see the reality of it. But there's a gap between the initial reaction and being able to really look at it rationally. I'm trying to squash that. I want to squash that gap down as much as possible. So in my mind, I wouldn't want to react to something like that until the emotion has passed. That time, that gap of time, how long is too long? How fast do we want to reply to things like this? Because, I mean, Facebook says it needs to be immediate if you respond within 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes, I'm still crying in the bathroom. I'm not I'm not typing yet.
I
What do you think about just even the
totally
timeline
get
for
it.
reaction?
Oh, Alex, I totally get it. A bad review will not make you happy. Let's just be honest with each other. There is no time in life when you can look at someone who comes and tells you your baby is ugly, and you would say, I don't care what you just said, right? Like it
Right.
will still always hurt you. So it is hurtful. That's why I never ever reread bad comments and reviews, read it once and that's it, please. Okay. Now, second thing, yes, as SAP, that's how we should answer to bad reviews, just because it spreads and they are telling everybody how bad the product is. That's why the time frame is so important. In my case, Alex, do you have other employees or is it just you? Do you have someone
No,
else
it's
on the
just me.
team?
It's just
So
me.
in my case, I give it to my employee to read it before I post it. If it's just you, if you have a friend, a husband, a bestie, as you show it to them before posting. Okay. So
Yep.
you need to do it fast, but show it to them and they will tell you, oh no, no, baby, like here, over here, it was a bit too much. Can you change this to this? So yeah,
Right.
that's the only way to do it.
Because it is so easy to follow a comment thread on somebody else's whatever and go, oh, she should have said this, or I would say that.
Easy.
Wouldn't.
You know what? That's brilliant. At the business school, I actually give them examples. So I say, okay, here are the reviews and here are the answers. Give them really, really good companies. So you would say, oh, every time they will be like, oh, how could they answer this way? Oh my goodness, judging the company. I would have never said it. And I say, okay, so I'm going to give you now the trials. Please take these reviews and answer that to them. And they do the same mistakes. They make the same mistakes. So it requires, I think it requires also practicing. The more you do it, the more you don't care about it anymore, you know? So it requires practicing and lots and lots of deleting and rewriting. Like probably your
sure.
first 3 versions are bad.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think
think
about running it through ChatGPT? Running your, here's what they said, here's my reply. What would you improve?
That's another good idea. That's another good
that's a good
idea.
idea.
But then if you ask ChatGPT to put it the polite answer, don't then fight with ChatGPT, okay?
Right. Because it
If
doesn't
it's
care, which is good.
yeah, don't fight with this. And no, 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 this is not true, especially when the reviews are not true. That's hard, guys. That's hard. But again, think not of the person who has written them, but also part of those people who will be reading the whole thing. I don't know if you would need this, but I only do programs for entrepreneurs, online programs. I do them twice a year because I work with corporates more. So I'm gonna do one this 6 months. It's gonna be May 29th, 30th, 2 full days of intensive. But we are going through all stages of your client experience, not just review. Review is just the last stage. All of those, all of them, like everything. Like show me, the email review, write to them, like everything. And then you will have 2 days of intense training and then 4 weeks of implementation. So I don't know if you guys need it right now, but if you feel like you want to learn more, then I can drop you a link or something.
That'd be great. Send me the link by Messenger and I'll post that on here as well.
Yeah. Just read it if
Wonderful.
it's your thing or not. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, any other
Okay.
final questions? Nope, we're good. We're good.
I'm
Thank
good.
you so much, Anastasia. This has
Thank
been
you.
really
Thank you.
fun and extremely valuable. So that's
Thanks.
awesome.
Very much.
Yeah. If I could help, that's beautiful. It makes me happy. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. I hope you all
Thank
have a
you.
fantastic rest of your day. And this is great stuff. So
You too. Thanks, Sue.
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Anastasia.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.